Walk up to a standard treadmill and position yourself facing backwards in a squatted stance. From here, begin walking backwards at a moderate pace. Be sure to keep the hips down and push the belt of the treadmill using primarily your quads. The reverse deadmill march is an effective conditioning exercise that mimics a backward sled drag and is also an effective way to train the quads in a rehab setting without loading them eccentrically.
Okay, so this one is the Patrick step up. I want you paying close attention to the heel to start off with on the working leg. Alright, we see that it doesn't come off the step that we're working on. Alright, the second point is this leg that isn't working, we lock it out completely straight and we lift our toes up so only our heel comes into contact with the ground. If we bend our knee here, or we allow our toe to then go touch the ground, well then you're going to cheat the exercise and you're going to get a slight push off from this leg here, which then means this working leg doesn't do as much. And we're all about getting this working leg here to do as much work as possible. Now, as you saw in the two different videos or the clips I've just shown, you can have weighted dumbbells with this as you start to progress it. You can also raise the level at which you're doing the step up, so it means there's more range of motion in your calf, okay, and you can progress that as your calf flexibility gets better.
The Nordic was first published 140 years ago, and being able to do this is the greatest common denominator between the world's greatest horizontal athletes, because this is the greatest point of force in horizontal speed and jumping. But only that has been tested. We don't have studies on what the greats can do, but even doing this is proven to reduce hamstring injury by as much as 50%, and we have a route that anyone can get to this because it scales, it budgets, and it makeshifts to any level from any gym. Then in dense, we patiently do 12 weeks of eccentrics only at your level. Then we find a very smooth and fun ride to the elite athlete standard, which, diamond upper crest of the glutes, is a strict Marty St. Louis MSL on the way up, which means abs come off the bench first by contracting the glutes, thus putting all the tension on the hamstrings. Continue to pull, followed by 3 Jonathan Edwards on the way down. Jonathan did these for 20 years once a week, is the greatest speed transformation ever, winning a gold medal at age 34 with gray hair, even though his country wouldn't sponsor him when he was young because they looked at his bones and muscles, said it would be physically impossible for him to be a triple jumper. And Marty St. Louis went undrafted, cut out of the NHL, and at age 35 was the only guy in the gym who could do that and was still leading the league in scoring. So the greatest ice, the greatest land speed transformations ever. But guess what? It took me 2.5 years to do that. Only the freaks can do that at first. The way we figured this out is just by elevating the hips so you still get the Marty St. Louis standard. Then just fight down and perform 5 full reps per set. When you can do 5, you go down a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And then once you are doing flat for 5 reps, then you start to challenge yourself. Okay, can I do it strict with hands behind back, glute contraction, bam bam. So your everyone standard is actually just about halfway between your knee and your hip. Set that so your hips can get there, and boom, just right here is something that anyone could get to and maintain for a really beautiful knee quality of life. We then find in dense that a slant board squat on 2 legs all the way down feels great. Loading is optional in dense, and it's done with a dumbbell in front, because if your elbows go inside or hit your legs, it means your legs didn't actually handle the load. And this is allowed with up to 25% of your body weight in additional load. And at the same time as we use the slant board to get that full bend, all of this eventually results in the ability to squat ass to grass without rounding the back. The lowest entrance point is 2 feet, and the key form is actually actively flexing your tibialis. So here's where I would stop, boom. I'm flexing the tibialis at the bottom of each rep. The other key part is not bending the knees, and the third key part is finding somewhere like a wall that you can only use knuckles or palm, but that you can't actually put your hand on top. People cheat that all the time. Now, I'm gonna make your life real easy. 25% of your body weight, 15 reps. Those are the highest I allow on all 7 of these. So in this case, let's look at this. I pick a leg. Now I'm gonna make sure I can only balance here real strictly. You see that? Now I'm gonna keep that leg locked. This leg can be behind, it can be in front, whatever's comfortable. I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna flex that tibialis at the bottom of each rep, flex all the way to the top. Doing that 15 times would be the standard. Now, in terms of guys I've coached, 2 guys come to mind. They both jump even higher than I do. They both do closer to 50% on this. Like, they have to literally put a wrist, you know, the wrist straps you use on deadlifts because their calves are so strong. Not every jumper in their range did I see needing to use that much weight, but they could, and they jump higher than me. So I promise you, I can safely build up on this as well. So this is one of the ones I do think is more safe to go over 25%, but trust me, 25% with active tibialis flex at the bottom of each rep and no cheating is much tougher than it sounds. Those 2 jumpers, if you want to check them out, 2 great guys, Connor Barth and Xavier Pope. Put your butt against the wall, take a step out. This would be a normal starting point, and without bending your knee, use this muscle to flex your toes up. If you can't do it here, you can walk a little bit closer. This actually makes it easier. There's less angle. You make it harder by standing further. And you'll notice the heel of your shoe actually makes it more difficult. So if you think you're struggling with this exercise, try it again barefoot and you'll probably find that it's easier. Over time, you want to stand further and further from the wall until you're actually feeling a stretch in your ankle. So if you go all the way out here, now it's really going to get in there. I'm going to make sure I'm not bending my knees. See, this changes the angle. That's easier than there, which is more angle. Stretching the ankles and then strengthening them up.